Feature Friday.
The freshest.
We are live, and I'm the one editing this, so all of this is
Oh
going
my
in.
God! Well, you gotta.
Hi guys, welcome
you
to Feature
gotta-
Friday Plus.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, what
welcome.
we're saying. Ballet, before we started recording, Ballet was saying that she wants to
Teddy Park. That's his name. Teddy Park.
know. She was wanting to search up the guy, the producer of BLACKPINK'S. Actually, the whole of their discography.
Basically,
He produces everything.
He's the genius brain that works behind the magic.
He really is.
He makes the magic.
That guy is very impressive.
Yes.
He was part of what? 2 p.m.
No.
4 p.m.
One
12
TYM. One TYM.
He was one of the first generation K-pop.
Yeah,
Jesus.
1998. Yeah, that's right.
1998.
That's right. The year you were born, he was out there kicking butts.
Yes, when I was, battling my way through my mother's womb.
Okay, a bit explicit and weird, but thanks for that image.
When he
I
was kicking
appreciate
ass,
that.
I was also, battling for my life. I feel like your thing is gonna come off. Your eyebrow might pop out.
That's not an eyebrow.
Your eyelash.
Oh my God! Why can you not tell me this before I sit down here?
Well, it could. I'm continuing. So, I thought today was a good day to. Look, Boris! Oh my gosh! So, anyways, guys, if you're tuning in now, London might go into lockdown, right? Again.
You don't know.
But no, I'm just saying. And Boris Johnson, obviously the Prime Minister of this country, of the the UK, he's sort of holding like an event, like a press conference thing. That's what sounded in my phone.
That's definitely.
It's not a fine signing, is it? It's a press conference. Yeah, it's a press conference. Anyways, yes, we might go into fucking lockdown again. Who knows? And I thought today was a good day to talk about Blackpink and the documentary. It's been the talk of the house for like the last week. And one of the things that obviously impressed us a lot as Ballet fixes her, what is it called?
Eyelash.
Her eyelash, was the impact of the producer and his.
Hush.
And he sort of. Yeah, how important his presence was.
Yeah, I think it just.
Hello,
it was
welcome
never,
back, mate.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've been talking about coming here for a long time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for having me.
Pleasure. Thanks for you to come.
Well, I feel very honored to be here today.
Just practicing for when we have guests.
Listen, I was just saying I have glue in my eyeball.
What? That is how that works, right?
Not in my eyeball.
Oh, is that not toxic?
No,
Will you be blind?
It's fine. No.
We were making a joke that what happens if you lose 50% of your eye?
What?
Or if you lose your eye and then you'd only be able to experience 50% of life. So it could happen. That
Shut
glue,
up!
Is that glue toxic?
No, it's not toxic. It's going around your eye, so it's definitely not gonna be toxic.
But what if it falls in your eye?
It's fine. You
You're
just
in
wipe
danger.
it off. No, you're not in danger. Can we move on?
I like you. I'm just, caring for you.
Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
Right. You'll be fine.
Yes.
That's good to know.
I was saying, back to Blackpink. Teddy Park. That guy is a freaking genius. I think, realizing in the documentary, realizing the fact that, that's the part that you never get to see. Like, you always get to listen to the song and the music, and you're always like, oh, that beat is sick, or the musical composition of this is insane, or I like how they arranged this and how they layered the vocals and stuff. But you never really think of the person that did it. And usually it's just one-man work, a one-man job, And that person right there, the magician, is Teddy Park. And I was like, wow, it's so cool that we get to see his face and what he does in studio.
So he seemed,
that was so enlightening for me.
He seemed to be the mastermind.
Oh, definitely.
Of the whole operation when it comes to music. Not the marketing bit. I would have loved... that's like revealing a magician's secrets.
Yeah, you can't.
But I would have loved to see that part.
It's like seeing the hat.
Yeah, but I was so impressed by him and his way of seeing music and the way of producing and the way of seeing the girls and the fact that he knew they were going to be big, which seems to be a common denominator with producers. Like, they seem to know who's who,
yeah,
and who's going to make what work. Obviously, they don't know the exact numbers, or they don't know if they're going to be the global success they became, but they always seem to have an eye.
Idea. Yeah,
or an ear, I should say.
I think it's because well, in his case, he had been in the industry for forever, literally the whole of his life. on stage, off stage, managing music, making music for other people, music for himself, being in the industry constantly. Like he's a producer in house for YG. So imagine the amount of songs that he probably has produced for tons of like hit numbers that we don't even know about, you know. And
does anyone know if he's worked with any other band from YG?
it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't
Like
surprise
Big
me if
Bang
like Big Bang,
or
21,
21, maybe
name
the Boys.
them. Yeah.
What are they? What's the name? The boy group from YG that are they're like the smaller brothers to Blackpink.
Oh, that's Treasure.
Treasure.
But they haven't come out yet. And they debuted, but they haven't released their new album, and they delayed it. It was supposed to be released in December, and they pushed it back again. So we don't know.
Wouldn't surprise me if he's also involved in that because they're so new.
Probably. I mean, he's pretty busy with Blackpink right now, and I think
he's got his hands full.
I think once they give you a band,
you stick.
You stick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think that's how it goes.
That's good.
So the consistency is always there.
So you always think Blackpink.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's very good. Because I look, something I can't say enough is that album was very well made. Man, whether you hate pop or you adore pop, it was pinnacle of pop. But bloody hell, album-wise, it was so well done.
It was very clever, and the order of the songs was really well thought through. And I'm pretty sure they did at least like 25 songs in studio. I'm pretty sure. And I love that they picked the best 8 to go into because that just lets you know there is a whole process to this. And I don't know, when you listen to an album, you usually don't think about that. But with Blackpink, I feel like the anticipation was so big.
It could have flopped.
And I felt the hard work behind it. When I was listening to the tracks and the how they were made and everything, I was just thinking, damn, I feel the hard work, and it's good. It is such a satisfying moment because it makes you feel like you're part of the process, even though you're only the listening end
and such
of
the
journey, and it's just fantastic. I think they did such a great job at that. Seeing
go on.
Seeing a different side to the girls in the documentary was very interesting too. That seeing the vulnerability, the things that they feel most comfortable with, the things that you never thought they were uncomfortable with. Mm-hmm. For me, an eye-opening moment was seeing Rose be a bit taken aback intimidated by the studio and exposing herself, like creating that safe environment for her and her own creations in the studio. I found that very enlightening. I thought I thought they were beasts in the studio because they spend so much time inside it. They work so much, but it is different when you are creating from your experiences, from your music. Is like your baby. I understand why she felt so intimidated in the studio. That was pretty interesting to me.
That was definitely one of the most intriguing points because they don't spend that much time in the studio creating their own things.
Absolutely.
They don't.
No,
They spend a lot of time in the studio reiterating a pre-made work for them. Executioning and a pre-made vision.
It's like giving their perspective on a script.
Yeah. You get given the script.
Reenacting a
That's
script.
That's different. That's you can pretend to be something you're not.
But that's not rewriting a script. Like, that's not writing your own script.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's what singing and writing, that's why songs that you write yourself, it goes two ways, right? It could be a really powerful song because things are aligned. Your emotions, the performance, it's personal. It's yours. It belongs to you. And then you also perform it like it belongs to you because it's your creation. You're most comfortable with it. And then you have a hit. Or you have a really strong piece. Or it could go, you never think it's good enough because you're always the most critical of yourself.
Yeah.
So you never are able to perform it freely. And I think that's kind of what... It didn't surprise me to say that was the bit actually. Didn't surprise. It was intriguing, but it didn't surprise me the fact that she does feel a bit uncomfortable in the studio creating her own stuff because she hasn't done it. You know, like that was one of the things that it was slightly disappointing seeing the trainee journey, and the fact that they don't let them.
They
like,
never encouraged that part of that.
No, they don't let them. Hey, make your own mixtapes. You have fucking facilities here.
Yeah, go ahead, jump in the booth, do whatever you want.
Yeah, you have free time.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't. 14 hours of training a day. Bloody hell. But
and that was in the trainee days. They probably didn't have access to those facilities before they.
But I think
they
that
were
should be
as a group.
But I think that should be encouraged in those training years. Hey,
they were too busy building an idol.
Make time.
I think.
Make time.
Add it to the schedule.
Make time. You have got to. You have
it's
got
true.
to.
Well, you do need that.
Dude,
part.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
You go then. You debut, right? You debut, and now the only thing you can do is only read the script. You don't know who you are in a studio. You don't know what you sound. You don't know how much. You don't know how much potential you've got because you're yet to find it. So you're delaying your own journey. I'm not saying that's the case with Rose. It just worries me that some of these new guys coming up, right? Like Tresha, for example. You have a new group that SM is releasing. You have new groups that
Big Hit is releasing.
Big Hit is releasing. So, and then I'm seeing this, the training stuff, and that's why then you see, other groups, and they're so impressive because they have this capability as well of writing themselves and stuff like that. And we're gonna find out now, of Rose, who truly Rose is.
Yeah, that's
through
right.
her music, and yes, it was slightly. It made me worried a little that she's uncomfortable in the studio. The good news is that goes away fast.
So quick.
Just
yeah.
exposure, gradual exposure will be fine.
But I like that they included that. That could easily been avoided in the documentary because. That could have easily been cut out of the documentary.
I lost you. How could that have been avoided? What do you mean?
Oh, they including that part because
they genuinely okay. I see.
Yeah, including that part where she was so vulnerable.
Yep.
I
genuinely
liked,
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Absolutely, but I liked that they left it in, that they let you see that vulnerable emotional side to them. It's like they're human just like you. They took away that facade of these are untouchable idols. I thought it was so cool to see them, see them packing, talking about their lives and how it had such a big impact on them, the world tour that they did, physically, mentally, and the marks that it left, good and bad. I thought it was really cool to see that part as well because I believe that we only get to see as a part of the audience, we only get to see a finished product, a perfect, polished product. We never see the reality of how it is to get there. And based on our little experience when we were growing up and touring in our country, very small a scale compared to what these girls were doing, I remember the exhaustion and the hours that we didn't sleep, weren't sleeping, the lack of food, everything that just adds up to your daily routine, and you have to be fresh and ready every single time you're on stage. There is no space for fatigue once you jump on stage, and it was really interesting to see how in such a huge scale they handle those things. For me that was really enlightening. I thought that was really cool. To getting to see that a little bit of that.
The tour life, and I mean we can talk about this later because I wanted to dwell more on the whole point of like training years.
Okay, fair enough. Like
how they translate into studio.
Okay.
Right, and then how you turn studio artists into good live stage performers.
Yeah.
So good that then they can go into a world tour, right? And they can sell out world tours with only having 12 songs. And such good performers that they can do covers of other songs, and people bloody enjoy them and love them. And you can use those covers to then showcase the fact that, hey, hold on a second, we can do so much more. That's what's coming in the future. So you keep people hooked, right? But I feel there's the biggest, maybe the reason why, and I'm keeping in mind like all the points you made of the tour because it's very important. it was one of the most
impactful parts of the
that
documentary.
after we watched, like the intensity, and when you get to that level, and that the you know, it takes a toll on you.
Yeah, the price
How
that they
taxing
pay.
is that?
Yeah.
And they're paying a big price with their health, and they're paying a big price with their time. They have no other life. Well, but we'll talk about slightly later. But the thing that marks me the most about K-pop is the training.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that anywhere else.
That's right.
You know, probably the reason why it impresses me the most is 'cause you went through something like that in performing arts school.
Yeah.
Right. So you have those days, those 14-hour days, and it was impressive. Like, I'm watching it, and you're like not impressed by that number because that's what you used to be. But to me, I was like, what the fuck? That's not normal. Because I come from an academy system where you train 7, you train 6, and you need to rest, and then you recover hard.
Fair enough. The intensity is different.
But it's so constant.
Well, at least they had, you know, they had days free where they they had on 4 nights they had like 1 or 2 days free every 14 days or something like that.
I think it was Lisa who said we would train, or Rose, we would train for 14 days, rest for 1 or 2, and then back again.
Yeah,
Non-stop. Are you nuts?
But at least they had those days. Here in how I did it, there were weeks where I wouldn't see a free day in weeks on end.
But wouldn't they be when you had shows coming up?
No, even in normal timetables, because there, you know, that you had projects or extra stuff that you were working on depending on how many lessons you were taking. That's also just the route that I personally chose to take. But we had half terms here because of the schooling system. So we had like a week off every 3 months, and sometimes those weeks weren't enough for the amount of work.
Like.
And the shows in between. Sometimes, I remember there was a point in the year where we wouldn't have a day off for like 3 months, and then it would be Christmas break. I was like, oh, okay, finally, I can just relax. So that part really didn't make that much of an impact to me. Again, I wasn't away from home either. Like, I was coming back home every day. Yeah. Whatever time it was, but I was close enough to be able to commute to my school and come back.
But the school would be like a label, I guess.
Exactly, but
you just don't promote you.
You gotta do that yourself.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I had it easier because I could come back home, and you know, when my parents would be here.
That's also a grueling aspect that they had to all go through. Like, you have to give up everything else.
Yeah, it's like
no family.
What are they called?
Internado.
Boarding schools.
Boarding schools. Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand that part. Like, that's definitely that has an effect way harder in your psyche and your living environment, because it's adapting to a whole new country, it's adapting to a whole new language, it's adapting to a whole new culture, all by yourself. Like, if I had to do it by myself, I probably would have pushed through it. But it's way harder, and I used to see it in my friends as well that came from abroad to study here, and the psychological and moral impact in the person is way deeper than what you think it actually represents. You know, it's tough. That's tough. So that part of the trainee camp is really hard.
Yeah, so that's why it was very insightful watching it with you, because I can sort of notice, you know, what I'm watching you and I'm watching it at the same time. I'm sort of, okay, what's marking Bali as she's watching this? Is this, you know, an anomaly of how training should be and stuff like that? But the other thing that was very interesting to me, it's well, first of all, that I feel training is necessary when you're creating any sort of public figure. Mm-hmm. You could be a bloody hand model, right? But if you're gonna be, if that's what you're gonna do full time, you need training. And training that, unfortunately, you can't just get on the go, you know. And then if you're going to be a singer, a rapper, dancer, you can't get that experience. You can't get all the knowledge through experience. You can get most of it, but you lose on a huge bit that comes with academic value or training value, and this is something that I feel the K-pop industry, which I love the fact that what's his name, Terry.
Yeah.
He mentions it's like, why is it called K-pop? It's just bloody Korean. It's just the Korean way of doing music. It's just Korean pop. So I'm still calling it K-pop for now. I like that mentality from him because it's just pop.
It's just pop. It's just music from Korea. And he was saying, what makes it a K-pop?
Yeah.
Is it American pop? We don't call it A-pop.
Yeah.
And it's
like
true.
Latino pop.
We don't call it that.
Yeah. So it's just Korean. It's just pop from Korea.
Yeah.
And one of the things that
I like that. That was pretty cool way of thinking.
Yeah. The thing that the Korean industry does really well is that
the training.
And they try to break you in that training.
Well, that's what training is supposed to do.
And they break all the other 15 girls that were there with them. So then that triggered an interesting thought in my head, which was, okay, so these 4 girls, right? You know how it is in schools. You know how it is in colleges, in academies and stuff.
It was supposed to be an A group, a 9-member group as well.
Yeah. So you don't get along with everyone.
Oh,
you just don't, or you don't vibe with everyone, or not everyone's your wavelength.
Especially when it's such a competitive environment.
Yeah, it's kill or be killed. So then, because they're trying to break you, so you're always hostile as well. The environment is rough. It's very rough when you're in an academy environment, or I don't know what it's like to be in a 4-year performing arts, like day in day out thing.
It's tough.
Where everyone's like close out, I guess.
Definitely,
and they're all
it's
artsy.
a cat face. It's a cat. It's
Fight.
a cat fight.
Yeah. So.
Every day.
So I don't know what that's like. I know what it's like to work with athletes, but nothing else. And athletes are very to themselves most of the time, or very loud, and you can shut them down. It helps to develop a bit of an ego, which is good. But you never get along with everyone, and they didn't know Blackpink was gonna be Blackpink, Jennie, Rose, Jisoo, and Lisa. So it would be so interesting to then I would have loved if they would have dwelled deeper into that part of did they always get along. Did they always vibe before, in the presence of all these 15 girls?
Well, they did kind of and I think that's the reason why they ended up being the 4 of them, because they were the girls that they would get along naturally with each other. Lisa and Rose were really close right from the beginning.
I saw that. That was good.
Because they could speak in English to each other. And Jennie and Lisa got together as well.
Yeah.
They got along together, so they all kind of, and I think they were close in the same dorms or something like that, and so they were pretty close. And
but right, this is how I thought about it, because this mentality of kill or be killed, because that's the mentality I was at when I was training.
Yep.
Again, it's a sport that I was doing, not arts, but so I don't know what it's like there. But my mentality is, I went in there with my boy, Russell, with my best friend, so it's different. Him and I, it's impossible that we can turn our backs into each other. But everyone else is us against them, basically.
Yeah.
So even if you're very close friends with them, and I'm very happy I left that environment and I left that way of thinking, because it gets you nowhere, unless you make it through that system. But if you're outside that system, it gets you nowhere, because not everyone's against you.
Absolutely.
But it's that mentality of, okay, we're friends, but I see you training harder than me. Or,
it's like you're better than me at certain things that I'm not. Yeah.
So I'm gonna smoke you in those areas. And then that part of me, the obsessive kind of fucking psycho bit starts coming out, which is like, okay, well, you're good at interval training. Okay, well, I'm gonna be in the gym every day doing that because your fitness is better than mine. So even though we're friends, I'm like,
they're always pressing a competition.
They're not gonna get you before they're not gonna get me before they get you.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna outlast you. So in that environment of label stuff,
environment. Yeah,
it's like a survival show. So I don't know what
it is. Well, because Jisoo, Rose was the last member to come into the training program.
She was only there for 2 years, was she? 3 years?
Yeah, 4 years, I think. 3 years, and then the other
Jennie was there for 5.
5.
Lisa was there for 4.
Yeah.
Jisoo was there for 3.
For another 5. I think she and Jennie were Jennie was the one that stayed the longest.
Yeah, she saw girls come and go.
Yeah.
Which I think that that had to
changes
have
your
an
mind,
impact.
definitely.
Because you don't know who's gonna stay, so you don't become attached to people no longer. You don't.
Not only that, you don't know if you're not gonna stay. That has a hit.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
That has a hit. You don't care about people coming and going. You're glad that you're still in. Forget about the people that left.
Yeah. So.
But I'm just saying that when Rose came into the picture, the girls saw her as a threat. You're the new girl.
Right.
Why did they bring you in now? Why are they interested in you now? That means that you're good. That means that I have to be better than you, you know. And obviously that wasn't included in the documentary, but they did say that it was a very competitive environment.
Yeah,
and
when Rose and Lee talk about,
yeah,
they did say
it was a very competitive environment. Like, here, welcome, but you're competition.
Of course, I mean.
And to be honest, I've never been naturally competitive. In my personality, I'm not naturally, out there to
Combative.
Yeah, I'm not very confrontational or anything like that. So in my experience, the training years and that competition atmosphere, that competitive atmosphere in your way of working, how it builds you. It creates this, even if you didn't think you had it in you, it creates this like hunger and like defensiveness, and like you're ready to protect yourself and your own only. Well, and I've never been like that. And I remember when my first year at training, that hit me so hard. It's like, why am I being so selfish? I'm never like this. And I can only imagine these really sweet girls that, by the way, they're really sweet and really like loving, and they're super chill and cute and whatever, being chiseled exactly how the industry wanted them to be. It's tough.
And you see why, and then you understand why they're being trained like this. Because what's coming next, like the training years, is nothing compared to what the touring life that this label and the Korean industry chooses to do tours like this, and it's so intense. So the training years are like preparing you kind of for that, but the touring life is nuts. And one thing before we move is that's probably the reason why they're so successful in the training years now, because of the training years. Because one interesting bit that she said was, I should stop saying the word interesting. One intriguing bit that she said was, Rose was like, my parents would call me and they would be like, come home.
Give up, come home.
Yeah, it's okay, and she's crying and and stuff. And this is very, I will relate to this. It's hard when you're trained like that. And she was like, that doesn't just come from I'm gonna be famous, or
no,
that comes from I'm not gonna give up before any of these people do.
Absolutely.
I'm here way too deep, and there's embarrassment, and I've traveled thousands of kilometers to come this way, and what the hell else am I gonna do? I've invested all my life into this. This girl, I don't think she's that good, and she's still here, so I'm gonna make it even further. So there's always that competitive edge to them. That's why I'm so surprised of their relationship, how it's developed.
Yeah,
that's not easy to do, man. Like you can't force friends to happen.
No. Even if you stick 4 girls in one room and just go ahead, live together, it's just not.
And then that bit I said to Valis, like I've said this before on the channel, if you think you like someone, live with them.
Imagine if you don't like them.
No, imagine if you don't know them.
Exactly. Imagine if you don't know them and then you're stuck with them for how many years?
Yeah.
In the same apartment. And you know what I found really interesting, that I thought, oh, that's cool, because now they have all the income and the money and whatever they want to
now
be
they have
living
money,
in their own apartments, but they still live in the same apartment, the 4 of them together. I thought that was so cool. That's a proof, that's a living proof of they get along well. They prefer to stick together in their time off when they're not working.
Because if not, they would have had a chance to see ya.
Exactly. If they didn't like each other that much, if they didn't tolerate each other in their training years, or when they were coming up and they didn't have another option but to live together, when they had the chance,
see ya,
they would have taken, they would have gotten their own apartment, little house somewhere. Because they could. Now, monetarily speaking, they can. And
It was a great
really,
sign.
It was such a great sign
think
that
that's
they
such a
have
good-
one dog together. That that they live together.
They're
and I
family,
thought-
basically.
Yeah, I thought that's like, oh, that's really cool that they found comfort and harmony
Yeah, because
together, and I thought that was pretty cool. I said to myself, that's a really good point for longevity in this group.
yes. So that's the best sign you want to see as a fan.
Yeah.
Like they genuinely
Get along.
When they were given a choice, they still stuck together. When they get given a choice to hang out with whoever you want, they still choose together. Those are great signs for longevity, because the only thing you can ask for them, they're doing it, right? So they're performing, they're training, they're always in, now
So
they're
their personal lives is theirs,
exactly. So when they don't have a choice, do they still choose what's best for the group?
which is sticking together, and they do.
And that's brilliant.
That's fantastic. That was very refreshing to see as a fan, as somebody who's watching from the outside.
Then what was not refreshing to see, was actually fucking worrying, was the touring bit.
Oh yeah, that was woo.
So this is a secret that's known, like the pop life. We were discussing this. Is very interesting conversation we had, which was this bloody word interesting. Gosh darn it. We had
It was
this.
very insightful.
Yeah, I guess this conversation we had after watching the documentary was, I said something along the lines of, "Bale, I don't know if that's unique to Blackpink, their tour life and the fact that they're so exhausted. They're obviously at the level that not many groups have been on, right? Maybe BTS. They've probably experienced something very similar. So it's probably good that they probably message each other or talk to each other. Maybe, top dogs, the Justin Biebers of the time, the Rihannas, the Beyonces. They've experienced this level of it's non-stop. 50 weeks.
I actually
Sorry, what
think-
is it? 30 weeks, whatever their tour was.
I actually believe, Efra, that even smaller artists that do world tours experience this type of pressure.
Okay, I agree and I disagree. The reason why I agree is because...
They don't. I believe that, for example, Katy Perry, like
Well, she's not small.
Dua Lipa,
They're not small.
but they're not.
They're top dogs.
Yeah, but like, what do I say? Like
What? Are
They
you telling
don't-
me Tom Fitch, Tom
Tom Mitch.
he's world touring and he has the same schedule as Blackpink?
No,
No way.
no
way.
But even that tour, like
It's
Bruno
grueling.
Major was talking about it. He did a tour in Asia, and he said it was perhaps one of the most exhausting
Yeah.
things I've ever done. And I believe that. And they don't have the schedules nowhere near.
Okay,
to,
so
these people
maybe
do.
a best example to compare is someone like Justin Bieber, who was, when he was younger, he was also learning on the go. Like, that's the other thing about Blackpink. They've never toured.
Yeah.
They only did their first world tour 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or last year, was it? 2
Yeah,
years?
like a year ago.
So they're learning as they go too. They're new artists. Like, they've just been trainees. They're new artists. They didn't even expect to be successful themselves. And then, boom, you're the biggest girl band in
ever.
the world.
Yeah, ever.
You're not, like, they're one of the first girls to break the whole K-pop thing. Like, Coachella, all this stuff. So, we've known, this is a known secret. Everyone knows this. This is a grueling aspect of music. It kind of gets to the point where, like, bloody hell. Like, it's this exploitation to some extent. These ladies are not resting. One day they're in London, the other day they're in Beijing, or London, and then the other day in Thailand. And then from Thailand they go to Bangkok, they go to Paris, and from Paris they go to LA.
Well, that seems a bit nuts. But they do like a city different night.
Yeah,
A different city every night, like in Europe.
yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's bizarre. So it gets very fatiguing, very taxing. Mental health out the window. They don't really care anymore. Not them, the people that work for them, that work with them. Sorry, they don't care about that stuff. You have dates, you have to meet them. Bam, bam, bam. They try to facilitate as much as they can. Here's hotels, here's good food, here's blah blah blah. But it's a grueling aspect of it. My point was, maybe that just happens with pop. I think
It happened with rock.
yes, okay, but I think they live better. I could be
Why?
drinking Kool-Aid here, but I think they live better, because one of the things that worried me a lot about these ladies, and you gotta laugh, It's like they don't party.
It's true. No, I agree with you. There's no.
They have no dating
outlet.
life.
Yeah, there's not an
Seems.
outlet.
They have nowhere, and I'm glad if they do. I hope they do. There's no, oh, let's go out and do this. Let's go out, let's do that.
There is not like a blow. What are they called? Just little moments to just let go of everything.
Yeah, but especially the part where you let loose.
And forget about everything.
I'm not saying you should get drunk. I'm not saying you should do, substances. No, that's not me. But
there needs to be a balance, and the schedule doesn't.
You're telling me you performed in London, right, in front of 60,000, how many, 20, 50,000, 25,000 people, whoever in the O2, how many they fit in there. You're in such a high, and you gotta go to your hotel to sleep. Like what? That's tough for your own mental health. You go in such a highs and lows, ups and downs, no celebration.
From so many people to nobody.
Yeah, and then it goes to the point where like, oh, we don't even want to celebrate because we don't even have energy. You've already depleted yourself. And then I'd imagine the reason why they don't do, little parties or anything like that is because the label's probably like, nah, because tomorrow we have to go to Prague.
Yeah.
Or,
that's the reason why.
Yeah, so my point is, I've seen this firsthand. It seems other artists that seem to have more creative control rather than artists that are with, labels that decide what they do, which again is very, very unique to Korea in terms of like lyrics, production, video, outfits, everything is the label because they trained you. I feel like it's more intense and taxing because of those aspects too.
Absolutely.
Like if you had more creative control, maybe if you're a singer-songwriter and you are doing a world tour, let's say John Mayer, I've said this to you, this is just a perspective, what it seems to me. I don't know this. I've seen it firsthand with rappers, but I haven't seen it firsthand with any of these artists that I'm mentioning. But maybe John Mayer, it's not as taxing for him. It does, being on the road and traveling is tough. But maybe there is less, it's less grueling because there's not as much control when it comes to
on stage.
Like you have to sing this song, or you have to sing this song this way, or you have to wear this dress, or you have to wear this outfit, or you have to come from the roof, or here's the fireworks, careful with this bit. Remember, you can't talk about this stuff, or remember, you can't say this, or say that, or... That has to be another grueling... Like, it feels like, handcuffs
You're
a
tense
bit,
all the time. Yeah, I believe that one of the great factors of having creative freedom as an artist, for an artist that's doing world tours and stuff, is that their performances, their live stage performances, their tours per se, are part of that maximum expression of them. Like is them being loose, is them being the most them that they could possibly be. What happens, because I experienced it with musicals, not even close to what they did, but I personally felt like it was way more exhausting for me to be performing every night something that was so predictable to me, that was written a certain way, that I had to deliver the same emotions, the same thing. It was predictable, and I think the predictability of things gets exhausting because you have absolutely no control.
But you have the same numbers.
Yes.
And you have the same
songs. Maybe they switch the order around. Probably not if you're doing a show every night. You stick with the same order.
Yeah, but when you sing How You Like That 15 times, trust me, it's not as fun as the first time.
Yeah, and you get to a point where when you repeat the things so many times, they become second nature to you. You don't even think about them. But the grueling aspect, like you said, is the predictability of things. You don't have that little window to absolutely let go of everything, be the best you that you could possibly be. And I think that's why, for example, people like Louis Capaldi hate being in a studio. They have personally spoken about, like, I just hate being in a studio. For me, it could be a track that I recorded 3 seconds and put that out there. I don't care about that, because to me the most important part is the touring.
But he loves
I need to be outside, and I need to show people what I've done, like, and because is there freer version of themselves, and
and then maybe then you don't need to party.
Absolutely.
Or maybe then you don't need to go out and celebrate. Maybe then you don't need to do all this other crazy stuff that some artists like to do.
Like you can see it with Spanish artists. Like they're so free, they're so them on stage. Alejandro Sanz, Pablo Lopez, they're just so them.
You want to see someone enjoy performing and enjoy the life of music and enjoy what it actually means to be a musician, which is touring, performing live. Just watch any Spanish singer, from Alejandro Sanz to Pablo Lopez to India Martinez to anyone. Literally anyone, Rosalia, anyone. That's what it means.
That's the maximum expression
to be a musician. That's why I adore watching them and doing the podcast regarding them. They really exemplify to us.
They excel.
What it means and the level that we aspire to be on.
Yeah.
Where they have, there are, as you said, to not to sound redundant, but they are the most them they can possibly be on stage. So that's like their escape route. That
Absolutely.
is their party.
And you don't see them going off crazy when they finish. They have been
Everything.
crazy.
Yeah,
they had been everything that they could possibly give.
And then the worrying bit was you would see like, Blackpink is getting ready, the ladies are getting ready to go on stage and they're like, oh, okay, here we go. And then they got, oh no, like, that's why I think it's such good news, and now we're starting to see, and brilliant. The documentary is amazing, by the way. In case you didn't see that bit, that we genuinely liked it. It's
the cinematography and how it well directed it was, like how they compiled everything. It was just fantastic.
And look how clever they did this. So they introduced Rose, right? When they started introducing them like separately, this is Jennie, and we'll talk about Jennie a bit because she to me she's always been the most interesting in terms of like how she got there, who she is, her journey, what she's gone through, and the impact of health, mental health, and then also, maximizing potential.
Yep.
And living with maybe you don't feel the most comfortable talking about yourself, but you deal with that. Maybe you don't feel your body doesn't feel the best when you're touring, but you deal with it. She's a great example of that. So we'll talk about her in a bit, but Rose was introduced as a singer-songwriter.
Yep.
And I can't sleep at night. I do this, I do that, and I sing and I write. Right? And then I'm uncomfortable in the studio. I'm getting better. This will be my house for the next time being, obviously promoting the solo.
I hope we get a solo from her soon.
And then they go into tour life, right? And they're like, this is so exhausting, so many parameters. And then the guy is like, you guys are fucking over that note. And then he's like, don't leave that in, it's funny. And then they were like, oh my gosh, okay.
It's so intense,
Don't mess up. Oh, here's the message. They're gonna start getting more creative freedom.
Yeah.
So because they must have realized this. Like, this is no way for these ladies to live for 8 years.
Absolutely.
Because that's what I look at. I don't look at their success now. Because I feel we're getting the best Blackpink.
Now, yeah.
We're going to. This is the beginning.
This is just the appetizer. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm looking at it. Where is Blackpink gonna be 6 years from now? When they've been out for 10 years.
And you know what I found very interesting? How they see themselves in the future.
That was intriguing.
They know that their time is fleeting.
Yes,
and I thought they know that it's temporary. That to me hit me so hard.
That's how it finished.
Yes.
They're talking about 40 years old. But when they were talking more seriously about it, when they were packing up, it's like, we don't know how long this is going to last.
Absolutely. So we're taking advantage of as much as we can. And I love how Lisa was saying, like, we know that the next, like, in a few years, the next big girl group is going to come about and we're not going to be relevant anymore. And
it's more realistic perspective to
but it was very interesting. Like, I never considered that. Obviously, I'm not in that industry. I've never seen,
we don't know the patterns.
Me. Exactly. I've never seen a younger me come and take my spot, or I haven't seen me taking over somebody else's spot like they did with 21. You do get, like, I understand the mindset.
Well, they did that, didn't they?
Absolutely. But to me, it was so surprising that they're so aware of it too. Like, that is something that nags them at night. That's something that keeps them up at night. And it was very interesting because Lisa was saying how...
Probably motivates them as well.
Probably too. Like, but listen to Lisa said that she knows that the next big thing is gonna come around. Like, it's just around the corner. They know that they're temporary, but that she's glad that the impact they've made as Blackpink is gonna be ginormous in years to come.
She feels that's enough.
Yeah, she feels like the impact they have made as Blackpink all together, the whole company as a whole, it's reward enough for her. Like, she doesn't care that tomorrow the next big group might come be better than them.
She is happy with what she has achieved.
Exactly.
And she's also hopeful for the future.
Absolutely. And I thought, oh, that's a really nice twist to it.
But understanding that if it does go wrong, she's fine with it.
Absolutely. I just thought, wow, what a great, like, that is so shocking to me. I never even considered, the possibility of a younger version of me, kicking my butt in like 3 years' time,
How stable was JISOO?
So
like, how stable
strong.
of a person is she?
Mentally, I think she's the strongest out of all of them. I think she's like, and I love how she, like, there was a point where they were all crying because they were emotional and tired and whatever, and and JISOO was like, yeah, it was like, oh, I cry and then I cry, and so like everybody cries, and then just like, I don't cry. I was like, damn.
What was it? Terry said said
I don't cry.
I think I've known her for like 6 years. For like 5 years, and I've seen her cry once.
Yeah. I was like, my God.
And usually artists are very,
Yeah, but I think she's also the oldest in the group.
And she's also a natural actress.
Yeah.
So she has a natural not natural. It doesn't come natural. No one understands emotions. But she has studied.
She comprehends emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that she is, let's say, the most stable is the wrong word, but
stable is definitely the wrong word.
She has a lot of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I feel like she's the strongest mentally, and like she approaches things very like head on. Like, if the world comes spit me in the face, I'm just gonna give him my other cheek. Let's keep going. Is that strength, calm, and very rooted. I feel like she's very rooted as a person. Like, she's very resilient. Like, anything can come through her, and she will fight and battle her way through life. And that is that was so cool to see, though. I didn't know she was like that.
Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but she would seem like a great ambassador of Korean values.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
It seems to me that she really embodies what South Korean families and the values that I'm starting to learn, because this is something,
mindsets and perspectives. Yeah, I think you're right.
That it is about that. That I am who I am, and I respect everyone. I try my hardest. I don't give up. I keep moving forwards, and I try to become the best that I do.
I think you hit it right. I think that's right. Yeah.
She never looks down. Like, she doesn't even, she never looks down on anyone. It seems she doesn't. She's very polite and calm and collected. And
very calm
controlled.
and
And she seems also to, take things on the chin. Like when the guy was telling her, mate, you're messing up that note, fix it.
And she was like, okay, keep going.
Okay. Oh, actually, it's just because of this and that, but then I got it. And then he's like, yeah, okay, fix it. So, okay. And she has good sense of humor, it seems. So she seems to be a very cool addition, not just to the group, obviously, but like in their personal life.
Yeah, to any type of like social dynamic.
To have her to someone to talk to have her to speak about certain issues and have that strength in the studio, have that sort of foundation.
Even in the industry overall, like, I feel like having somebody that strong around you is always beneficial. It's always beneficial. You need somebody who's stern enough to say things how they are.
I also feel that she would call out BS.
Absolutely. Exactly. Somebody stern enough to realize what things are wrong, but also carefully guide you through it. And because she does it herself in her own personal life. At least that's what it
seems. I mean, it's just an hour and 15 of their life.
Exactly. At least it looks like it. And I loved, for example, what Lisa brings into the table as their dynamics. Yeah. She's such a ball of joy, you know. So she's so energetic, she's always positive and forward, and she reminds me a lot of myself in those environments. I tend to be like that. It's so stupid that I keep calling myself back into this, but it's like I base it in my own experiences, because where else do I compare it to? Like, I don't have.
It's not dumb. That's how people consume art. That's why people watch movies. That's why people read books.
For no things.
How does this reflect who I am?
Yeah.
Can I figure out more about me?
Who resonates with you the most?
While watching this.
Definitely.
That's why art is such an important and such a impactful, part of history. It's much more than a documentary. It's much more than a music video.
I agree.
It's a reflection of you. The reason why you like it. Don't say that again.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Of course, you have to relate it to you. How the hell do you understand the world, anyways?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it feels a bit like me.
Not to have a sibling moment, but yeah.
Thanks.
That's proper. No, but seriously, how the hell do you make sense of the world if it's not through your eyes?
Totally.
And then through conversation, I find we also put ourselves in other perspectives.
Yes.
And try and
be as understandable as possible.
Exactly, yeah. But what the hell? Of course, you gotta bring it back to you.
Well, I really liked.
And then also, you're a singer. It's like me watching the Andy Murray documentary and not relating it to my little niggle. That my shoulder when I when I was 15.
When I was like, oh.
Yeah. Or my knee. It's. You find those relatable bits, and they make it so impactful. And
they do. They leave such a mark. But I really liked how balanced they are as a group, because of course you have Lisa, who's really like bouncy and energetic, and she's always positive and happy, and she brings that positivity to the group. And even when everybody is feeling down, there's always that little spark, and that's contagious. Once somebody's jumping about and having a good time, that tends to stick on the other people, and the whole vibe changes. And I really liked that she's naturally like that, and that's enhanced in the group. And yeah, it was really.
I find she's really special.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
Lisa, it's bizarrely special.
Yeah,
that girl, it's literally what I thought it takes to be big.
Well, there you go.
Like, the foundation of a skill, this is something we mentioned before. I probably, the reason why she's so, obviously so bubbly and happy, and she probably enjoys moments, in dancing that maybe some of the other girls don't, because it's obvious that she has the most extensive resume in dancing.
Mm-hmm.
She might not be, let's say, the strongest singer. Let's say Rose wins that one. You know what I mean? But it's, so Lisa might feel a bit more tense when she's singing.
Yeah.
And Rose might feel a bit looser. But because she has such a strong foundation when she dances, she's capable of enjoying bits and bobs that even if you're a great dancer, you lose those moments of presence.
Yeah.
Because it's not second nature as it is for her.
Yeah.
So she was very special. Seeing her hair, I love the fact that she was speaking as well. In Thai, and you could see her hair. It's sort of like a childhood and stuff, and that is
very nice.
What I thought it takes to be part of a Korean high-end label like YG. You have got to be the best
at one of those skills.
Yeah, like
she, not all.
She
like
could
one.
very well be the best. When she was
14.
Yeah, I don't know. She could very well be the best dancer that label had seen.
Yeah.
Boom, good. That's sort of like sometimes I get messages of people like, oh, I wanna do this, I wanna do that. What in tennis, obviously not singing.
I was like gonna say
like that, but in tennis, it's like, what should I do? And my answer is always the same. Like, starting levels, right? So become the best in the park. Then be the best at your club. The number one, undisputed. No way of someone saying no, he's not the best one. Then go to a bigger club, be number one, and don't move on until you're number one from that one. Then go to an academy, put yourself in the top 3, top 2, 1, and then go and compete and win. And you don't stop until you win. And then once you go into smaller tournaments, go to bigger ones. It's the same with the label. I'd say to anyone, like, if you're auditioning, and this is sort of the pattern of our father and our mother sort of ingrained in us when we were being parts of the that, the small industry in Venezuela. It was, okay, you're gonna do it, but we're gonna prepare you the best way we can so that when you audition, you're gonna be one of the best there already.
Absolutely.
Not that you learn there.
No.
You don't want to be there.
It's not a learning
curve. Because you get pushed
anymore.
about.
Absolutely.
You get pushed about. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, so you want to dance? Okay, cool. Let's put you in 52 every day you're gonna dance every day. And then you gotta tell me if you actually like it. Oh, I do like it. Blah blah blah. Okay, cool. Now let's put you in a show.
Here's a result from search.
Ooh, okay.
And
Thank
they
you,
say
Google.
Google's not
Not
always listening. It always is. But,
Freaky.
so Lisa embodies that concept to me. That's why she's so
$1 million,
special.
$1 million.
Give us $1 million.
I want $1 million.
So Lisa to me embodied that principle, and that's why I'm so glad Jennie called it out at the beginning. It's like when I saw Lisa, she was like, "Oh, like that's
what I'm supposed to be like.
like that's
Yeah.
a star." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, yeah, no fucking wonder, because
Yeah,
that
she's
lady's been
working
dancing.
on it her whole freaking life.
It's that easy. It's
Yeah.
that simple. That's why sometimes it's hard when people say it's like, oh, can you still be great, or can you still be amazing if you've only sang for 5 years?
Yeah, absolutely you can. But can
Yes.
you be the greatest? That's a different question.
I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is the longer time you spend in one specific skill, mastery comes. And when mastery comes, there comes this spark, this weird presence. It's sort of like this spiritual aura that you surround yourself with,
It's like you kind of created.
which is that awe effect.
Yeah, it's
like,
a
oh,
star
shit,
effect.
like that.
Yeah,
Who's that?
absolutely.
Right? I, of course, as a brother, I feel you have that. I'm serious. So when I was on stage, right, when I was on stage and I would be rapping or in instruments and stuff like that, I would see everyone because I have the capability of being back, and then I'm like, you can see people sort of like energy, vibe, that type of stuff, and then to me, I don't know, maybe because I'm your brother, but you sort of stood out, right? That's what I saw in Jennie. And I've said this before in the channel. It's like when you see these ladies, it's like, oh fudge! Like whoever dances, you see Lisa dancing, you're like, what the? That's nuts.
You're totally starstruck
Yeah.
right off the bat.
It's so special what that girl is, and I'm so glad she's part of that group, and they're so successful.
Me
and I
too.
think we're gonna get so much Lisa as we keep going forwards. Like
Yeah.
regardless of what happens in the next 6 years with Blackpink, which I hope they're still around, I get the feeling they probably will be.
Yeah.
I think they've set themselves for life, because especially someone like Lisa, who has such a good background in dancing, and she's developing as a rapper more, which I'm really, really excited about. As a rapper myself, it's exciting to see someone use different types of bars, different types of
flows
and
and
stuff
different
like that.
rhymes and play
what
with
I'd love to
tempos.
see is her writing. Right? I want to see
me
what she's
too.
about.
Well, they do write, and I remember in their trainee years, Jennie and her used to write a lot of the raps in the songs that they were supposed to be covering and
Okay,
stuff.
but does she write like she choreographs?
I
She
don't
did
know.
one choreograph every week. Choreography, sorry. Every week for like 3 years, she said. Okay, can you do that with your raps? Can you write a different rap every week, right? And tip top that you perform in front of people, right? Every day for 3 years. Can you do that? That's what I'm talking about. Right. And I think that's probably what it would take her for them to her be like, okay, I could arguably be as good as any other female rapper out right now. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. I never really thought about it.
Yeah. Then it
Really
goes
interesting.
to Jennie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jennie is probably,
To you, the most intriguing.
oh my gosh, I was like, gee, because I remember studying anxiety in during my school years in sports psychology, and she seems to have not, so she doesn't seem too anxious, but she seems stress gets to her. It's so roughly that it has health
body,
issues.
Yeah, her
So
body,
she,
like,
I forgot the
reflects
word.
it.
I think it's oh fuck. Forgot the word.
Somatizes?
No. Begins with letter S. Anyways, it's like it's psychological stress, somatic. Is it somatic? Which is where where your body then interprets stress,
Yeah.
and that's when it's rough. It creates muscle tension. It creates stiffness. It creates increased heart rate, dilated blood vessels. Your heart rate through the roof. Blood flows and you start feeling tingles, sweating, sweaty hands.
You feel like you can't breathe.
Some people pass out. Some people throw up. You don't want to get to that stage. You want to try and have enough psychological control over your stress that you're able to then not allow it to be translated into your physiology.
Yeah.
And the way you also do this is working in, your breathing rate, thinking of different stuff, reading before you compete, reading or, relaxing yourself before you go on stage. But she seems to have a tough time even when she's not performing, with her health. So she was stretching a lot. There was a huge, and obviously this documentary is made with a purpose to showcase what their life looks like the most, and what their main focuses are and what they're about. And health was a huge part of it. I wish they would have gone more into the dieting bit. I want to see what her diet is like. I want to see what she eats.
It was really interesting to see her.
That might help with the whole stiffness stuff.
Definitely, but it was. I know that they're very healthy in what they eat, though, regardless of what people believe, like common belief tends to be, because you need a healthy diet to keep up with the demands.
Yeah.
And also
the specific shape they seem to keep.
Yeah, and also maintain the body shape that you have, that they require to have. So it was really interesting to see the Pilates instructor so involved with it, and the recurrent emphasis that Jennie kept saying, that every time that she's home, she likes to invest in her health. She likes to invest in her feeling well again. And she kept saying, different to everybody else, I feel it the most.
I get injured a lot.
She was more prone injury than the rest of the girl. Injury prone than the rest of the girls, and it was really cool to see, that her focus was to keep her body healthy, because I feel like all of them do that, but on her is like the main priority. And that was really interesting, because I have a lot of dancer friends that they also seem to have a hard time switching off, understanding that the body needs to switch off. And I feel like that also falls along the same lines with Jennie,
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to see how she vocalized it, and how she let everybody know in the documentary that that's her main priority. I thought that was really cool and intriguing at the same time, because we only saw a little snippet, and I wish this is just
I wish it was longer. I wish it was like 3 hours long.
This is just me being a fangirl here of the cinematics and how great how they set the atmosphere so great in the documentary. Props to everybody who helped make that film, because it was absolutely insane.
Documentary.
Insane. But I wish we had a little bit more of their daily life, their daily routines off.
Yeah, I mean, it goes
the tours,
just comes from a natural inclination towards unfiltered content.
Yeah.
So we wish they would have spoken about dieting. We wish they would have spoken about
mental health, how they keep up with everything, because I feel like it was really lightly brushed upon.
Yeah, I wish they would have spoken about do they have a therapist? Do they talk about stuff?
Yeah.
How do they keep
cope,
themselves?
Yeah, how do they cope with the fact of not having a private life?
Yeah.
Or
do they meditate? What's their workout routine?
Absolutely, I would love to see more of that stuff. Maybe they have something else coming up soon along the same lines.
Also, this is their first documentary, so we'll probably get more.
That's what I'm saying. This is only the beginning of the greatest BLACKPINK that we're about to see, and it is all very exciting. Everything about it is very exciting and inspiring. I felt very inspired after watching the documentary. I felt like, this is a really concrete idea of why I love doing what I love doing. Like, this is the reason why I chose this path.
That's their dream.
Yeah, that they are the consolidated dream. They had it all. They have it all, and they're just building, and this is just the beginning. And that perspective alone for me is so inspiring, and it gives you fuel. It's like when the first time I watched the Lady Gaga 5'2" documentary, I was like, yes, that's what I was craving to see, because I love to see what happens behind closed doors. How do you cope with the world criticizing you to nothing? For breathing, they tear you apart. Like how does the artist cope with that, or you know, how do they deal with the songwriting experience? Sometimes you don't have the inspiration, but you have a time schedule and you have to get something out. So how do they cope with all of these things? It was very interesting, and I remember after I watched that documentary, I was like, whoa, the whole world just makes so much more sense to me. Like, that is it. That's the world that I want to live in. And that same feeling, I had it when I finished watching BLACKPINK'S documentary. You know, the whole new perspective, a fresher side to the industry, a newer.
Well, it's a different industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I was so into it.
But
I
it's
was
an
like,
industry that is calling the shots in the today's world
it's
of
the
music.
It's the industry that I feel we're gonna see artists and labels copy what YG's done.
Absolutely.
We're gonna see labels copy what Big Hit's done.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the Korean labels are really making the way, and it all started. And I love how they started. You know, it's Psy. It all started with Psy. Like, the biggest song, arguably in the last 15 years, was made by a Korean artist from
Signed
YG
by
label.
YG.
Oppa Gangnam Style.
It's insane.
You know?
It was the first Korean song to ever hit billions of views.
But it was one of the first songs to hit billions of views.
Worldwide.
Non-stop.
Yeah.
Non-stop. You know, at that point when Gangnam Style came out,
2012?
Baby had not reached 1 billion yet. There was probably no other songs in a billion views.
He was the only person who
Yeah.
had 1 billion views in his videos.
You're already there, like, oh, hold on a second, these guys are doing something different. And then he makes another one, it's 700 million. He gets another one, 850. Does another one. Then he starts collaborating with Western artists, Snoop Dogg, this guy, this, and then you're like,
wait, hold on a second, something's happening.
And
here.
then, bam, he disappears. And it's like, hey, hold on a second, I'm making my own label.
Yeah, it's like, wait.
Yeah, that's someone that I would absolutely love to speak to.
No, I would love if they did a documentary of Psy.
Yeah.
My God, could you just watch?
Would much rather
so
speak to.
Cool.
But,
yeah, me too.
But or any of these girls, and that's why also I love BLACKPINK, the fact that they all speak English. By the way, Rose could have spoke to me in that whole documentary, mate, with that Australian accent. Just
do it. Go ahead.
F the narrator. Just make her the narrator. You know what I mean?
There was no narrator.
I know, but you know how like it all started, blah blah blah. That beginning bit, you know.
It was captioned.
Was it really?
Yeah.
There was no narrator.
No voice, no.
Ah, well, make a narrator, make a Rose for the part 2. But yeah, it was a really really insightful documentary, and I feel like I wish we would have seen more, but obviously that's how a good documentary should leave you.
Yeah.
You want more, you want more, you want more of this product. I felt the same way you felt when I watched Andy Murray's documentary, when I watched Conor McGregor's documentary.
Yeah.
You don't know about the injuries, you don't know about the battles, you don't know about
the daily life that they have to go through.
all the slaps that life gives at them, and they just keep plowing through, you know. So I wish they would have showed that bit.
Yeah, I felt like we didn't get to see the everyday life of BLACKPINK. We didn't, and
yeah, like for example, the big drop of Lady Gaga's documentary was her story of sexual harassment, right?
and her health issues.
Her health issues. Then the big bomb drop is what was it saying? The big
bomb dropping.
I don't know what is that saying? It's like the big.
Splash?
Spoilers. I don't know.
The big
From
splash.
Conor McGregor is that he fought his 2 biggest fights injured.
Yeah.
Right? Like torn LCA when he fought Chad Mendes, broken foot on this one. When you watch Andy Murray, it's like the guy could not tie his shoes when he played at Wimbledon. But he was still running around like a maniac.
Yeah.
That's the mentality those guys are on. Like, they're really special. So I wish it would have been like in
a bit
BLACKPINK.
more of, yeah.
I don't know. What the hell happened in that year? You know?
A lot of things happened.
Obviously.
On that world tour, I can bet $100 that
Show me.
so many things happened in there that we didn't get to see. But I also feel like this documentary was made for
an introduction
marketing purposes,
Oh.
like for pushing the best image of them in order to keep selling whatever is to come.
I agree.
I think it felt
It felt truthful though enough.
Yeah, no,
you know what
it
I mean?
did. It felt very honest. I didn't
It
feel
didn't
like
feel. It didn't feel too Hollywood.
no, not at all. But I wish we could have seen a bit more of like
Or at least.
the daily struggle, or like I don't know.
Or at least show me. Yeah, the more mundane, crude, raw bit.
Yeah.
The less sparkles bit. Or at least show me more of the struggles during. Of course not.
No, yeah.
But it makes the relationship between the fans and the group stronger though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh.
This is what
then
they have to deal with.
And then they say something like, and your support was kept us going.
Bam!
Money,
bam,
money,
bam,
money,
bam.
money.
Have it!
Yeah, because they already have me hooked. Like,
Yeah.
I'm downloading everything they do. I'm watching everything they do.
Absolutely.
But if they would have said something like that, I would have been like, fucking no, she's also going through that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, say, for, you know, like...
But I also liked... But I also... This is why I'm so torn about it, my opinion about it. Because I also like how they, you know, keep their private lives so hermetic. Like, you can never ever see anything about their private lives anywhere unless they decide to show you. And I think that's...
And the label has an eye on it.
Absolutely.
To control stuff.
And I think that is so freaking special about the Korean music industry. They protect their artists and their private lives.
Like nothing we've seen before.
Yeah, to such an extent. Is so wonderful because even though it might seem like they might not have any freedom, we have seen now many other examples on the Korean music industry that they go on ahead and live their own private lives and nobody ever knows about it. And I think that is so special.
But the label's job is to try and make you believe that all they do is music.
Yeah.
So they forget about their private life.
Absolutely.
And then it gives them a bit of freedom to then do what they want without people knowing.
And I think there's a huge personal advantage there for the artist. You know, that's a huge part of, you know, that keeps their sanity.
Dude,
at such an extent. But listen, that could be the tipping point for like the biggest selling hit that they could have as YG, giving you a little into their private normal lives, like them talking to their parents on the phone.
Knows.
Like, the things that nobody else has ever seen.
They could drop that.
Like how they did it with their trainee footage that has never been seen
Exactly. They didn't even see it themselves. Like they were watching it themselves
for the first time,
and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't even seen this." You know what I mean? It was so impressive. Or maybe, I think what they should have done is at least show me some of the struggles in the trainee years. Like show me you talking down on them. Like that was shit. Show me that bit.
Well, nobody wants to see that.
Why not? I want that because you think they were perfect all the time.
No, well, no, not ever.
And how motivating would other upcoming performers see that? It's like, oh my gosh, they didn't like Lisa's stuff.
Yeah,
what the
good point. Good point.
They probably told her at one point, "You're crap at dancing.
Well, I'm sure.
Get better."
Yeah.
You know, because like I think I'm fast, and then this twat comes over and he says to me, "You're slow. Get faster." And you're like,
oh my
what?
God,
I'm the fastest here. It's like, nah, this is the national standard, and you're not there. Mate, I am training like there's no tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well,
you know?
True, maybe that
I just
would have
loved
been the same.
I would have loved a bit of struggle. Like,
Me too. I think that's what I...
Show me tears and blood.
I feel like that's what
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that I could have asked for from that documentary
But it was bloody great.
It was fantastic.
It's a good
but if I
documentary.
had to ask for something, I would have loved to see a bit of like, you know, personal struggle a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it
rating
sounds
stuff.
sadistic. It sounds a bit like mean, but
It's real.
I think it's so inspiring to see your favorite artists, you know, see them battle through their own demons.
Motivating, man.
Yeah, it's so soul touching. I don't think there's anything more inspiring than seeing the people that you look up to the most
Because
beat the crap out of their demons. You know, it's so freaking cool. I love that.
as pessimistic as this might sound, the only thing that everyone has in common, and I've said this before, is that we're all going to suffer. We're all going to struggle.
We all suffer. We all struggle in our
We
own
all
time
will.
and in
Regardless
different
of your career path, regardless of what you do, you will struggle. It
Yeah.
will be hard. You will suffer. You will cry.
things. Yeah.
You know? The smiling bit, yes, you will smile. But it seems for some reason you can relate to hardship, pain, and suffering stronger than when
Because-
you see someone celebrate their success.
Because
you know?
you will fall. Because you at some point you have suffered.
Yeah.
And not everybody can celebrate successes the way that they do, so it's hard to relate to it, you know? So yeah, I understand that. It was fantastic.
Good documentary.
Regardless of any of the points that we were trying to make out here, I think if you haven't seen it, you have to go ahead. And if you've seen it already, watch it again, because it's so good. And then you find so many details and realize so many things about the industry and themselves through a beautiful cinematic filter. Is fantastic.
And it makes the album
so good.
Like
way more meaningful.
Yeah, like it makes somehow it made it more enjoyable when I heard it the other time. It was like it was more enjoyable after me knowing Terry, after me knowing his past, after he knowing the girls beating up more. You know, I don't know any of these girls.
Their initial reactions to their songs.
And who am I kidding? I still don't know them. Not even one bit. This is a documentary, you know. But I feel like I can relate more to their creations and their art, and it feels like the support goes a longer way than you think. So it was a great documentary. I hate rating stuff, but this is definitely like a must-watch documentary. Like
absolutely,
it was well done. You know, there was obviously those what could have been better, whatever. But it was really well done.
Yeah, and I think if you haven't seen it, please go ahead. It's fantastic. I hope you enjoyed our little review and talks about our perspectives on Blackpink's new documentary. And if you have any of your perspective or any other documentaries that you might like us to check out,
these are fun, man.
This is so much fun. Please leave it down in the comments below. Let us know what your favorite part of the documentary was.
Sorry. Yeah, apart from that, send us a documentary. Send us documentaries.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, no, but like of the K-pop industry or stuff like that. So we just cover them on the podcast on Sunday as well.
And then we can talk to you like this.
This is so. I love this.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think we have so much on to go on for. Like, there is so much to keep on talking about, and I think it sparks.
Like what?
No. What I'm saying, like, if we watch
other
documentaries, I feel like I'm recalling the documentary as I'm speaking, and it's so cool. I really like that. So thank you very much for that incredible request. I think it was fantastic.
Yep.
Wonderful watch. So enjoyable. And I discovered a new thing about me. I literally sang along to every song that was in the documentary. To me, that was so surprising. I was like, oh my God, I know them all. It was very exciting. It was a very proud moment of mine. But let us know what you like the most and what other documentary we should check out next.
Peace.
Bye-bye.